This is a 16-foot Grand Banks dory. It holds 1,200 pounds. You can row it, motor it, sail it, or just sit in it on a quiet lake and feel proud of what you built. And you can build it, even if you'd never built a boat before in your life. My name is Fraser Wheaton, and I want to show you how a 97-year-old master boat builder from Newfoundland has made that possible. If you've ever gone looking for boat plans online, you already know the problem. You find a set that looks promising, you open them up and it's technical drawings, line drawings, no photos, instructions that assume you already know how to loft the hull, whatever that means, or you find a set of plans for $37. A few sheets of drawings, no written instructions, and when you have a question, there's nobody to ask. What worse, you come across one of those 500 boat plans for $37 packages. You get clip art quality drawings, no support, no real instruction, nobody behind it. And then there are the workshops. The good ones cost $3,500 in tuition alone, plus weeks away from home, plus accommodation, plus travel. And that's if you can find one reasonably close to you. Here's the thing nobody in this industry wants to say out loud. Most boat plans aren't built for beginners. They're built by experienced boat builders for experienced boat builders. If you already know how to loft the hull and read line drawings, they're fine. If you don't, you're on your own. But what if somebody with 72 years of experience, a man who's built more wooden dories than just about anyone else alive, sat down beside you and walked you through every single step, every cut, every measurement, every mistake to avoid, with a photo of exactly what it should look like at every stage? Let me tell you about my friend Wilbert. Wilbert Ware is a master carpenter from Little Bay Islands, Newfoundland. It's a tiny fishing village on the northeast coast of the island. He built his first wooden dory at 16 years old, and he didn't stop until he was 88. That's 72 years of building wooden boats. In one 8-year stretch, he built 44 of them, by hand, one at a time. He learned it from his father, who was a fisherman. His father earned it from his father. That's 4 generations of boat builders, going back to the days when the dory was the workhorse of the North Atlantic. The boat that fed families, built communities, and survived some of the roughest water on Earth. Now, Wilbert is 97. He's no longer building. Little Bay Islands underwent government resettlement a few years back. The community is gone, and with it, the living tradition of building these boats the old way, by hand from timber. Without these plans, everything Wilbert knows would have been lost forever. When Wilbert was 88, he called me up and said something I'll never forget. He said, "Fraser, I want to teach people how to build wooden dory boats. And I want to make it so easy that anyone can do it." Now, Wilbert isn't exactly the type of guy who stands in front of a classroom. So I asked him how he planned on doing that. His answer, "Well, you have a bachelor's degree in English and a master's in business. And I've built more wooden boats than anyone else I know. I can teach anyone how to do it, if you will write it up." That was that. No half measures with Wilbert. So he built a 16-foot Grand Banks dory from scratch. One of his best, I might add, and wrote down everything he did. Every measurement, every cut, every technique he'd learned over 72 years. He filled 237 pages of handwritten notes on yellow notebook paper, scraps of plywood, even on the back of some old sailcloth. Meanwhile, I photographed every single building step, 63 crystal clear digital images. Wilbert's instruction was clear. I want the pictures to be so detailed that even if we didn't say a word, anyone could build a boat just by looking at them. Then, I took his 237 pages of notes and locked myself in a basement workshop for 2 months, compiling, editing, and formatting them into a proper set of plans. When I handed my finished plans to Wilbert, he sat down and read them 8 times. His verdict: "Fraser, these plans are good, but not as good as they need to be." He sent me back with a list. Make it easier for beginners. Explain the tools better, more photos, more drawings. Explain what would and why. So we went back to work, again and again. In total, we made 36 complete rewrites of the finished plans. Each rewrite contained 12 to 24 revisions. That's roughly 800 edits in total. I finally got his approval, and when Wilbur says these story plans are perfect, you had better believe it. So, what do you actually get? 91 pages, 63 photos of every building step, from first board to finished boat. 12 hand-drawn diagrams by Wilbert himself, with every timber, cut, and joint measured and drawn. Complete written instructions, not just what to do, but how and why at every step. You get a full materials list with photos, so you know exactly what to buy before you set foot in a lumberyard. A tools list, standard hand and power tools only. Everyone photographed. We even photographed the screws. Every cut is explained, angle, depth, and why it matters. Wood types and substitutions, so you can build with whatever's available near you. One of our customers in Australia couldn't find the exact species, adapted with local timber and marine plywood, and his story turned out beautifully. And 72 years of tips and mistakes to avoid. Wilbert's insider knowledge woven throughout the entire guide. Oh, and one more thing. Unlimited email support. From me personally. Before your build, during your build, or 5 years from now when you decide to build a second one. 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, send it over. I'll respond personally to every single one. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what some real builders are saying. Jeff, who's built boats before, said, "Your plans are very simple and easy to understand. Great product that far exceeds your promise. I would recommend it to anyone." Paul from Massachusetts said, "Your plans are the clearest and easiest to follow I've ever seen. I've read 20 pages from experts on lofting and still been confused. You gave me a better understanding in a few sentences, even though I didn't need it for this project. Worth every penny and then some." PK from Quincy, Massachusetts put it this way: "Your plans aren't just plans. They're all-inclusive, step-by-step directions. As far as I'm concerned, you're the only game on the web." They aren't just stock photos, by the way. Every boat you've seen in this video was built by a real customer, most of them first-time builders. The digital plans are $79, instant download. You can start reading them today. If you want the printed workshop edition, the real book that you can take into the workshop with you, that's $99 shipped to your door. And the complete builder's package, digital plans, printed book, plus Wilbert's sail, rudder, and baler drawings, is $149. That's a $39 savings. Now, let me put this into perspective. If Wilbert had taught boat building in person at his workshop in Little Bay Islands, the total cost would have been somewhere around $6,000. Tuition, accommodation, and travel. Competitor plans, just technical drawings, no photos, no support, cost $50 to $344. At $79, you're getting the complete knowledge of a master builder with 72 years of experience. 63 photos, 12 drawings, every measurement, unlimited personal support. We're asking less than 1% of what this knowledge would have cost in any other form. And here's my personal guarantee. Download the plans, read through them carefully, check to see if the tools and materials are available near you. Take your time. If for any reason you're not completely satisfied, email me. Full refund, 60 days, no questions asked. An order here is simply an opportunity for these plans to sell themselves to you. There is no sale, no obligation to keep them until you've used them and are satisfied. You know, we live in a fast-paced world. We spend far too much time on screens. We've forgotten the satisfaction that comes from making something real with our own two hands. Building a boat changes that. And you know what? 20 years from now, your kids and grandchildren's won't remember another weekend on a screen, but they'll remember the boat. Your first boat starts here.